How you doing, guys? Steve here again. I wanted to shoot out a quick video before I go to bed. It's something that just crossed my mind, and I figure it could help out me and anybody watching this video who's trying to beat, not just treat, depression and anxiety. I found some inspiration the other night. One of the people I follow on YouTube had a live stream where he had a Q&A, questions and answers, and I think there was about 60 to 75 people just asking random questions. He's got about 50,000 followers, but he's been one of my biggest influences on continuing to fight. His name's Noah. I'll link his channel in my description of this video. But he inspired me because one of the viewers asked a question about how he beat his depression. His came along and eventually ended up he had low testosterone, which I've mentioned in a previous video. But one of the viewers asked the question, how else besides his testosterone replacement therapy, what else did he do to beat his depression? Now, I've mentioned a lot of things on my channel, a lot of things in my videos as to what I've learned and what I've tried. And sadly, I've tried a lot of things, and I've noticed that things work. And once they start working, I stop them. It doesn't make much sense. So when I was listening to Noah speak and he was answering his question, he said he didn't just do his testosterone replacement therapy. He attacked his depression, his anxiety, his mood disorders from multiple angles. So I kind of thought of it as like a war, because every time I tell you guys to keep fighting, it's what are we fighting? We're fighting depression, we're fighting anxiety, we're fighting our mood disorders. And when you want to win a fight, you have to know what you're up against, and you also have to know how to defeat it. So some things that I've tried, diet, exercise, medications, therapy. I've tried hospitalization, I've tried supplements, journaling, mood journaling, quite a few other things. And I found benefits, even if there were small benefits, from just about everything that I've tried. But what I wanted to tell you guys is that tomorrow, and I don't like doing this, I don't like making promises, but I figure I'm going to go all in. I'm going to push all my chips into the center of the table and lay down my cards and see what happens. Because I think of beating depression, not treating depression, and beating anxiety, not just treating it, is a war. And if you look at it from a war perspective, picture the United States. They've got an army, they've got the Marines, you got the Navy, the Air Force, and the Navy SEALs. So I wrote down on a piece of paper those special units, those pieces of our military. And for me, my army is going to be de-stressing and exercising, because I've done those both and they help, except I've stopped doing them. De-stressing can be, even though you're depressed or extremely anxious, doing something that calms you down. Say driving to a lake, or sitting in a park, or taking a walk, or listening to your favorite band, whatever it is, meditation, prayer, whatever de-stresses you, to do it. For me, walking, listening to music, while I'm walking, sitting by the water. Just small little things that are de-stressing, that limit your stress, de-stress you. They're very, very beneficial, especially when it comes to beating anxiety and depression, along with exercise. And exercise can also de-stress your body. But too much exercise is no good, so don't overdo it. So that's my Army. And the Marines, for me, is going to be my diet. I've read and researched and watched plenty of videos. And I know that things like caffeine and carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates, anything stimulants, raising your blood sugar too high too quickly, skipping meals, not eating enough proteins, eating simple sugars, consuming simple sugars like soda, anything with high fructose corn syrup, anything that your body normally doesn't react well to. If you're consuming it, it's not a good idea, because your body's trying to heal, and we're trying to fight through an extremely, extremely hard fight, and we're trying to win this fight, and we want to try and help out our bodies as best as possible. So diet for me is going to be a huge one, because I stepped on the scale recently at the doctor, and since I've been out of work since November, I've gained about 40 pounds, and I owe it to, I can't blame it on depression, I can't blame it on anxiety. Those don't force me to eat, they just help me have extremely bad sugar cravings, and that's part of your body's distress response, because insulin helps bring serotonin through the blood-brain barrier, the BBB. So when your body craves sugar, for a lot of us who are in depression, who have anxiety, that's part of the reason. It's our body trying to balance things out. Now, if we're not exercising, our body's just going to store that fat, it's just going to store that sugar. So diet for me tomorrow, making the promise, I'm doing it. Now, some things that kind of hide in the background, but are crucial to our military and crucial to, I guess, our regiment, or my regiment that's going to start tomorrow. Supplementations and medications. I'm going to continue those. They're 1, 2, 3, in your mouth, down the throat, cup of water, and you move on with your day. They help you, but they're not in the forefront. They're not on the front lines, but they're part of the battle. The Air Force is, I know you got to be extremely smart to get into the Air Force. That's they're one of our most intelligent parts, or I guess parts of our military. They oversee the skies. They lay down the heavy artillery. They are big saviors in battles, and we're in a battle. They come and lay down the bombs. They come and lay down the artillery. When we're trapped, or soldiers are trapped in a city, they just plow around the city and give the soldiers a way out. And for us guys, for me personally, those are doctors who know what the fuck they're talking about. These are therapists, cognitive behavioral therapy worked best for me, which I stopped, which I need to get back into. It's not easy going to therapy at first, but if you haven't tried it, I suggest you give it a shot. And lastly, guys, trust your doctor's opinion if you feel they truly know what they're talking about. If you feel that they fucking have a clue, and they in your gut, and you trust your gut because your brain's not working too hot. If you got depression and anxiety, you trust your gut. If you think your doctor has your best interest in mind. Now lastly, the Navy SEALs. I made a video recently which I didn't post because I felt it was very selfish. It was a video about how or what to do when you become diagnosed with depression or diagnosed with anxiety. And I preached a lot about how I was lucky to have family and friends. But I know there's a lot of us out there who don't, and are battling depression, and they're battling anxiety. And I wanted to make this video to show you that you don't need family and friends to get through this, because you can have an army of your own. You can build an army of your own to fight this battle. And the Navy SEALs, they're some of the toughest sons of bitches in the entire fucking world. The training they have to go through to become a Navy SEAL, which is why there's so few, is because the way that they're trained is, it helps them push their mind past their body's limits, if that makes sense. You know, it pushes their limits to the test, and it goes beyond and above and beyond the extreme and the expectancy of what they think they're capable of doing, which makes them a stronger and better soldier. And that's why there's so few of them, because they fight a really hard fight in their training, and they come out on top, and they become a Navy SEAL. And some of the best wars have been won because of stories that we'll never hear about. But I've heard of stories of people beating depression, and I've heard of stories of people beating anxiety, and I've heard of people becoming Navy SEALs. So guys, I think we're the Navy SEALs in this fight. Every day that we get through another day of depression and anxiety, you pat yourself on the fucking back. It's a hard fucking fight, and you're pushing yourself to the extreme every day to get through another harsh day. So you can use this as like a template, or use it exactly as I said, but you can make your own army. You can make your own Marines, your own Navy, your own Air Force. But remember, you're a tough son of a bitch. You're a tough motherfucker if you're battling depression and you're battling anxiety. And every day that you're still alive, and every day that you're still fighting, you're fucking winning. And I don't care what anybody else says. So build your army, guys. Build your military. Keep fucking fighting. And I promised myself, and it's like I said before, I hate making promises because I hate breaking them. But this is enough's enough for me. And I gotta do all of these things. Because the more you fight, and the more factors, the more parts of your military that you throw at depression, you throw at anxiety, the more exponentially your chances increase of beating, not just treating, beating, finally feeling better from depression and anxiety. I'm giving it my best shot, guys. Please, I urge you to give it your best shot. Try out these things. Give them all a shot all at once. You know, if it takes baby steps, if you have to start out slow, start out slow. But every day this has to be, you have to tap into your military, tap into what your plan is, what your key factors are for you to get better, and do them every day, because it's a long fight. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So give it a shot, guys, because I'm doing it, and I have a feeling, my gut's telling me that this is it. I'm going to be better soon, and I truly feel it, and I hope you guys feel it as well. I hope you get better. I hope you get better soon. I hope you get well soon, but you have to fight to do it. So like I said every time, guys, if you're down, if you're suffering, if you're hurting, please keep fighting, please keep your heads up, and please keep surviving. I wish you guys the best of luck beating depression and anxiety, and I hope you wish me luck too. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Be well.